it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I make videos about books. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow. What is this? Today, in this video, I will be reading 4 new-ish release romances. So let me just go over the books that I'm reading with you, and then we will go into the vlog. The first book I'm reading is American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. This is the book club pick for November Pyramid Book Club. If you're seeing this video, then that has already happened, and I will link it up above. This is the story of a prince and a rapper who fall in love. That's it. The next one is a brand new release, and that's Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. I pre-ordered this way back when, and I also pre-ordered it way back before I read Chloe Leese's debut, which I unfortunately did not like, and I'll put that video up above. This is a Shakespeare retelling. I don't know which one. I don't know anything about Shakespeare, but I will be reading this. Next is one by an author that I hated her first book, but I want to give her another try, and I've heard that this one is amazing, and this is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I don't know anything about this. However, I heard that this is hilarious and people absolutely love this one. I am a hater of The Friend Zone. I absolutely hate that book. I think the way infertility is talked about was awful, but I am willing to give this author another try, so I'll be reading this one. And last but not least is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I know that this is a divorce couple second chance romance, and it's a little heavier, and it deals with mental illness, which I always love reading about mental illness, especially when it's done right, because I feel like I can most of the time always see myself in these books. So these are the 4 books that I will be reading for this video. Roll the vlog. So I am 88 pages into American Royalty. It's a little slow. Like, it's a lot of backstory. Like, they're not even like anywhere close. They haven't even met. But this is following a prince who has not been in like the limelight at all. He is a philosophy professor in England, and now he's being tasked as like a royal again from the queen, and he needs to do this like fundraising honoring stuff for his deceased father who was a prince, and he is like helping do a concert in memory of his father, and on accident he books Duchess, who's the rapper, and had no idea that she was a rapper or anything, just kind of like thought that her name was funny because, you know, they're royals. So yeah, there's a lot of drama on Duchess's side. She has like drama going on with another singer, so she wants to get her skincare line off the ground, and she's having pushback because of the drama that like she did not cause. She's just like in. And then with Jameson, I think that's his, yeah, okay, Jameson does not want to be a royal. He's stayed away from it his whole life. After his father died, his mother like was like, you don't have to be in the limelight, and so he became a professor, and he's just like not into any of this. So it's interesting. So when Jameson found out that he had accidentally booked Duchess, he found one of her like music videos online and was like horny for her already. So that's the part where I just ended. I do think it's like, it's slow. Like, is it gonna be a slow burn? Oh no. Oh my god, okay. It was 1 chapter later. This is this update. They met. Is this, I think it's forced proximity and enemies to lovers? Please. I am on page 241 of American Royalty. It's fine. Like, let's be real right now. The sex scenes are really, really good. I think they're great. There's a lot of smut. It's super spicy. But I know it doesn't have to be realistic, but they went from like 2 chapters of absolutely hating each other to fucking, and I'm just like, what? Like, I thought we were gonna get like at least a couple more conversations or something, but that's not the way it worked. However, I still think the sex scenes are really good. I don't really care about the story. Like, they're just basically fuck buddies, even though they really, really like each other, because there is no way in hell this relationship is ever going to work. Like, the whole thing is that they want to take away the monarchy, and so they, like, obviously can't be together. And she lives in America, and right now she's in London. So honestly, right now it's just okay. I have like 25% left, so I will hopefully be finishing this today, but right now, honestly, right now it's just okay. Hello, I finished American Royalty. You know, for most of this book, I thought it was going to be a solid 3 stars, and there's nothing wrong with that. 3 stars is good in my opinion, but I really liked the ending of this one. I thought it was really good, and it sets up for the second book, which has just been announced, and I'll put the cover right here because it's amazing. But the epilogue I thought was great. So Duchess has like this beef with this like American pop star, and she ends up in London, and I just thought the epilogue was so funny. So I really liked this. I didn't think, it's not like the best story I've ever read like in a romance. It's definitely based off of Harry and Meghan, but it was different enough that like it was its own story, but it wasn't super captivating. It's hard for me to, I don't know. It's fine. It was good. Okay. It was good. It was more than a 3, so I'm giving it a 4. Okay, it was good. So I like this one. I definitely would absolutely like to read the sequel. I don't know when it's coming out. And the good part is I was thinking like when it was a 3 that I was going to sell it, but now that I'm going to keep it, it's signed. So that's really cool. So I highly recommend this one, especially if you are into the whole royal thing. I try to say that I'm not into the whole British royals thing, but I absolutely am. Like, that's totally fine. So good smut. The smut was excellent. There was a lot of it. It's good. The story, meh, but it really got me in the end. So I do recommend this one. 4 stars. I am 27% or 100 pages into A Part of Your World. I'm loving this. I was really skeptical to try another Abby Jimenez because of my experience with The Friend Zone. However, even 100 pages in, this is great. So this starts with Alexis, I think, who gets stranded in the middle of nowhere and gets helped out of a ditch by Daniel, and they hit it off and have a one-night stand. But now they can't stop thinking about each other, and they live 2 hours away from each other, and she has gone there once to hook up with him again, basically. But it's also another side story of her abusive ex, and I feel like I like the romance between Daniel and Alexis because they are so completely opposite. Like, that's what this whole cover is about. They're completely opposite with each other. So that's like opposites attract or whatever. But the storyline with her ex-boyfriend who was abusive to her is what I'm liking the most because of the way he was abusive. I know this sounds bad, but he was emotionally abusive. And like it took her so long to realize that is what he was doing. So now she's afraid of him, and he cheated on her after he was emotionally abusive. So I just feel like I'm really loving this, like all of it. I really like this blooming relationship between the 2 main characters, but also that she is also dealing with this abusive ex and is like in therapy, is having to deal with her anxiety. And so like I like when romances also deal with mental illnesses because I feel like for some reason they go hand in hand. So I am really enjoying this. Only 100 pages in. I think it's a 400-page book, but Julia Whalen is one of the narrators. Bless. So I didn't realize this was going to be a little bit more heavy, but I'm really liking it. I am 65% into A Part of Your World. I'm absolutely loving this. Like, unless something so stupid happens, it's going to be a 5-star read. I can tell you that right now. It's also really hard to read because of all the emotional abuse Alexis is going through, not just from her ex Neil, but from her parents as well. And like, honestly, her only saving grace is this dude, which like, I don't super love, but he's like such a good guy, and everyone else in her life besides her best friend absolutely sucks. Like, my heart kind of hurts. Like, this is fiction. None of this is real, but like, my heart hurts anytime she has any interaction with her parents and her ex-boyfriend. And it is just like, I just got through a part where they were at dinner and her dad, she's a doctor, and her dad was telling her that she wasn't good enough. And I was just like, my heart hurts. Like, it's rough. It's a rough one, but also it's so good. Like, I can't explain why this is affecting me so much, but like, I absolutely love this. I don't think I'm gonna finish it today, but I'm absolutely gonna finish it tomorrow. And I just like, unless the stupidest thing happens, it's gonna be a 5-star. And I like think I know exactly what's going to happen, like how this is going to end, and I'll let you know when I'm done if I'm right. And if it ends how I think it's going to end, it's gonna be a 5-star. If something completely stupid happens like she did in the friend zone, I don't know. But I love this so much, and also it's also giving me anxiety. I finished Part of Your World by Amy Jimenez literally in one day. I, in my opinion, believe that this is a perfect book, and I don't like ever say that, but this is going to be on my best of 2022 list for sure. I don't believe that this is a rom-com, only because it does deal with heavier topics such as emotional and physical abuse. The physical abuse is not with the main characters, it is with side characters, but I believe that she is writing a book about those two side characters, and that in the next book it will be brought up. The physical abuse will be brought up again. I knew halfway through that this was going to be a 5-star. I pretty much knew how this would end, and I was right, and it did not deter from the 5-star. Like I said, this is a perfect book for me. This was an easy 5-star. I absolutely loved this. I am really glad that I gave Abby Jimenez another chance after I hated the friend zone. Like, the friend zone offended me so bad. Like, it just, but absolutely love this. I don't think that this is a rom-com, so I would be careful. Also, I don't remember any smutty scenes. They had sex a lot, but it was like no detail about the sex. So absolutely love this. 5 stars. Definitely recommend this, but also definitely recommend that you look at trigger warnings if you need them, especially for any kind of abuse. But absolutely love this one, and I will definitely be reading anything that Abby Jimenez comes out with next. This was perfect. I am 102 pages into Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is heavy, and I knew that going in because I recently met her at an author event, and she talked about this book specifically and said it's heavy, and it is. This is following Yasmin and Josiah, who have been divorced for 2 years, and they divorced because they had a stillborn. I did not know this going in. She talked a lot about depression and grief and loss, but I did not realize it was a stillborn. So not my favorite thing ever to read about, but we will prevail. It is a little boring right now. I don't like Josiah, and she said I wouldn't like Josiah because he does not want to go into therapy and thinks it's stupid and basically looks down on Yasmin for going to therapy and being in therapy for 2 years. She literally lost a child. Like, okay. So their son needs to go into therapy in order to like skip a grade, and Josiah has agreed to go to therapy with their child. So that is why he has finally relented into going to therapy. In the first 100 pages, it's a little slow. It is a big book. This is like a 400-page romance. It's a heavy romance. This is not going to be super happy the whole time. I know that going in, but like, once again, I did not know about the stillborn, which is something I would rather not read about, but here we are, we're reading about it. The audiobook so far is really good. I have listened to the male narrator a lot and I really like him, but in the first 100 pages, it is slow. You know that they're divorced. Obviously, they still love each other. She's in therapy. Their kids are a handful. They own a business together. That's really all that's going on. So I will keep you updated when I get, probably, since this is such a big book, around the 50% mark, and then like 75 and 100, but we'll see. So I'm not even 200 pages into this book yet. And that really sucks because I feel like I have been listening to it for forever and it is just very slow. And normally I would not update when I'm not even another 100 pages in. I feel like I'm like 50% in now. This, first of all, let's do this. This book is like 400 pages for a romance. It's too long. The audiobook is like 15 hours. I'll not like that. That is way too long. I don't like the audiobook narrators, like, at all. I can't tell you what it is, but like, they just are so monotone. This is the slowest slow burn, and I am not a slow burn lady. Also, I feel like I really like second chance romance, but like, I have never read one with a divorced couple who obviously should not have gotten divorced. Like, every single time we are on Josiah's perspective and he looks at Yasmin, he has a boner. And I'm just like, this is too much. I am, however, sticking with this for a couple reasons. I met the author. I went to the launch for this book I went like to the launch date of this book, and obviously she made it sound so good. So like, I want to continue. Secondly, I looked on Goodreads, I just to like put it that I was currently reading, and it has a very high rating. So normally I don't let that mean anything to me when I am reading books, but I want to support this author because I think that she is so cool. I am just now getting to the part where there is going to be a one bed trope. So I think the deal is I'm going to give it another 100 pages. And if I still feel like I'm struggling through it, then I will DNF. But like, I never want to DNF for a video. That really sucks. And I don't want to DNF for like an author that I feel like I really like. And I don't want to DNF when I don't know. I never want to DNF. I personally only pick up books now that I think I'm going to at least semi-like. And right now I am not semi-liking it. So I'm gonna give it another 100 pages. I'm like, it's just like it's too long. I don't want a 15-hour audiobook romance. That is like my worst nightmare. I want it to be 10 hours max. So I'm just like, I'm struggling with this one a little bit, but I'm willing to give it another 100 pages. I'm sorry if you can hear Blue's Clues, but I just looked at the back and it does say women's fiction. So. So I guess it's not a romance. I finished Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and this just ultimately wasn't the book for me, and I gave it 2 stars. Let me tell you what I did like about this book. I did like the descriptions of counseling. I feel like a lot of the thrillers that I read, they go to counseling and the counselor is like this bad person or something. Obviously, this is not a thriller. So both of the main characters end up going to counseling, and it's very beneficial for both of them, and I really, really like that as someone who has a degree in mental health counseling. So straight out of the gate, really love that. Now let's talk about everything I did not like. This was launched as a romance novel, and it is not. It is women's literature, and I just want to say that there is nothing wrong with women's literature. It is just not something that I am interested in. I am here for romance. So that was strike 1. Strike 2 was I did not know that this book was about the main couple having a stillborn, and there is trigger warnings in this book right in the beginning about it. However, you find out what happens on page. They like go back in time and you listen to the memory while they're in counseling, and it was not something I was prepared to read, and I did not want to read it, and I don't think the book gave a big enough trigger warning for that. So I really didn't like that. I also I did not like the sex scenes in this one. I was cringing. I absolutely did not like them. This ultimately just did not work for me at all. So I'm going to give it 2 stars. It sucks because I really, really like her. I just do not like this book. I have The Kingmaker and Longshot, so I will be trying those. I also have heard that Real is good, so I still want to pick up her stuff, but I want it to be romance. This is women's literature, and I don't want to read that. I am a little over 100 pages into Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. If you remember, I recently read Only When It's Us by Chloe Leese for the scavenger hunt project, and I will link it up above, but I did not like the book. So I had pre-ordered this a very long time ago and was still excited enough about it to not cancel my pre-order. So that's the story of that. But this is following Bee and Jamie and their Bee's twin sister and Jamie's best friend are now engaged, and they are trying to hook Bee and Jamie up. However, Bee and Jamie do not like each other, like at all. So now they are fake dating to get their friends off of their back, apparently. To get their friends off of their backs. But we all know what direction this is going to go in, and I am happy about it. I know at some point there's going to be some kind of conflict, which is fine. Also, what's interesting about this one is Bee is autistic and Jamie is dealing with high anxiety, and there is also an author's note in this one. And the author describes her own experiences with both of these. So I think that is really interesting. Bee has not yet told Jamie that she is autistic in any way, but she did have an episode where she needed to be held tightly at one point. So he may know. He's a pediatrician. Either way, I'm really liking this one. I am buddy reading this with Melissa from Book Bar, and I will put her channel down below. Definitely go check it out. But so far, I'm really liking this. This is also apparently a Shakespeare retelling. I would know nothing about that, but I just thought I should let you know that I know that. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this soon, but I'm really liking this one. I finished Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. I'm sorry I didn't update on this one a lot. Honestly, this book was so short and not a lot happened, so there was nothing for me to really talk about. But I am going to give this book 3 stars. No joke, I thought that this was going to be a 5-star read until like the last 75 pages. And then the conflict was just so dumb. Her sister isn't happy, so she's not allowed to be happy. Like, my brain cannot compute this. I just thought the 3rd act breakup was one of the dumbest ones I have ever read in my romance journey. So yeah, the writing was good. I thought that the sex scenes were not spicy, but cringy. Like, I was listening to them and reading along, and I was like cringing, dying on the inside reading this. So definitely not my favorite, but it is complete. So hold on. I read 4 recently released romances of 2022. One is an absolute new favorite book ever. 1, American Royalty. I had a really good time with this. I understand it wasn't perfect, but it's definitely a new read, like something new that I had read that I hadn't done before. And unfortunately, these 2 just did not work for me. This is not a romance. This is women's fiction. This was just cringy, and I don't think I will be picking up another Chloe Leese. So that's the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. No. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. No, I like the arm movement. Why do you do that?